explain how the whole thing started, Eugene, how you came up with the idea, why you got into it. So let's take it all the way back. Let's go back to
all the way back to
all the way back.
Siberia.
All the way back. Yeah, let's go.
I
Let's
was
go.
born in 1986, and at that point I had no idea about juicing.
That is a little too back.
Yeah, so basically, I believe it started probably 8 years ago. Yeah, at that point I was working in restaurants as a server, working long shifts, having a lot of bad food. Yeah, so low energy, low. I didn't know that I was lacking nutrients too. It appears to me later on. So yeah, I grabbed a juice somewhere here and there, and after just tried to do it several days in a row, and I felt better. Wow.
Where did you learn about the whole juicing process?
I mean, my first juicing experience, I would say, it was just one of those carts in the city. I would just passing on my way to work, get something sugary, I don't know, apple pineapple kind of mixture, and that was I already felt some improvements. And after just when I get into something I like to get all the way dig into it and start doing research, what works, and after just wow, juicing kale, that's interesting, let me try. So I bought my first juicer, and I would pretty much
Now, real quick, for the audience, how old were you at the time that you started this whole juice kick?
Good question. 26, I guess.
26? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, mid-20s.
And how old are you guys now, just to give people a perspective on, the show?
Sandy's 18, right?
I just turned 18, so I'm legally allowed to drink juice. No, I'm actually 30 years old.
Awesome.
And I'm 33.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So you're 26. You're experimenting, doing some researching and juicing kale. You got your first.
Yeah, and at
juice.
the same time working 70, 80 hours in restaurants, doing double shifts, coming back home late, eating bad food, and discovering juice that gives me some additional energy. So what I start doing, I start replacing my night meal. So usually at the beginning, I would come back home, get my milk, cookies, and whatever is there in the refrigerator, just stuff my mouth with it and go sleep. Next morning, wake up, feel crappy again, and you have no energy, you gotta go back to work, it's another Monday, and you start another week. And after that, I just started replacing my dinners with, so basically, I would eat around 6 p.m. before the dinner rush, and after in the restaurant. And after I would come back home, around midnight, around 1 o'clock, and I would just make myself some juice, drink that, and next morning I feel great. So I have a lot more energy.
Wow.
I'm going back to work energized, and on my way I would grab another juice. And after I start getting into organic things and more nutrition and stuff, but yeah, that was the beginning.
Interesting.
That must have been a really kind of eye-opening experience,
sure.
because people don't realize the lack of nutrition that you're probably getting. And I'm probably not the greatest eater on the planet, but you probably eat a bunch of healthy things. You're I don't feel like sleeping right now.
That's the thing, when you start doing good things, introducing to your diet, you feel the difference. But you don't know that you're lacking of it before you start trying it. So yeah, at that point, I thought that's normal to feel tired in the morning, wake up, get your first coffee, get your second coffee, and once I ended up in hospital drinking too much coffee. I was drinking
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was doing 6, 7 shots of espresso during
Oh my
the day.
God.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. That's a true story?
It is.
Wow.
It is.
How old were you?
I was my first year when I just started working those late hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of coffee, not enough water. Had no idea that it's bad for you. I
Super
thought I'm
dehydrated.
still drinking liquid, so
Yeah.
it should be fine. But
Wow.
coffee is diuretic, so if you do a little bit of it, it's good. It's actually helping you to push some toxins out of your body. But if you do it constantly on a regular basis, not get enough water, it pushes all water out of you, and you just get dehydrated.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I just got in the hospital with it. And
Wow.
like they couldn't figure out what's wrong with me. At the same time, they were giving me fluid. They gave me 2 bags of fluid. I was back to normal. Like, wow, that's a miracle.
Huh.
Something
So-
so simple.
Yeah, so guys, whoever's listening to that, careful on your coffee. 1 cup a day is great. Don't go too crazy. Better
Alright.
drink juice. Drink juice.
I went on a client meeting once, and it was for a local coffee shop, and they were very passionate about coffee, as you are, like juice, and they were serving us all different kinds of coffee, and like, I don't want to be rude, and like, I drink like pretty strong, like bold flavored coffee. I probably had like 4 mini cups. I went home, I thought I was gonna die of a heart attack. I was literally running around my apartment like, I'm gonna die. Like, I should probably just start walking to the hospital because I'm gonna die. And I just like chugged a bunch of water, and it started to like even itself out. But it was
Yeah.
Plus, it takes like 6 hours for your body to process coffee, so it's eventually it will slow down.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So after you started replacing some of your meals, was this? It was only at night you were replacing in the beginning, right?
Yeah, at the beginning at night, and after I added mornings, and that's pretty much, I've been doing that for a long time. And how I get into juice bar idea, I was just like, we lived in West New York at that time. I would go jogging along the Hudson River, and I was like running and like, oh, that would be nice to have a cup of juice right now. But like, I don't want to just stop, go back home, juice it, and get back to running. So like, it would be nice to have something right here. So first I was looking at that area in West New York and started doing some research and demographics and stuff like that, and we ended up in Verona.
Interesting.
So tell me a little bit about starting a business, right? So tell me, how did that process look for you, and what are some of the things that didn't think would be so hard? The process of really going through starting an LLC or a corporate. Talk us a little bit about that.
I mean, starting an LLC, all the paperwork stuff, it's pretty straightforward. You just like Google how to start a business, how to file an LLC, and like everything step by step will be there. Just like read through it and you'll get to it. Actually, I started another business before that, so like all this paperwork, I've had some experience before that. I was doing some shipping business.
Okay.
Yeah, but having real brick and mortar store, that's something completely, it's totally different animal. So the struggle starts, you think, like, oh yeah, the paperwork is done, I got some money, everything is planned, budget, like we're starting construction, once construction is over, and then it'll be nice and smooth after that. It's not, never.
That was smooth.
Yeah, so it's like there are challenges from the moment you decide to open a business, like coming up with a name and a logo and like what you want to serve and stuff like that. So someone said when you do your business, success is never guaranteed, struggle is. So
Yeah,
Yes,
lots of struggle.
Yeah.
But let's go back to your name. Like, how did you figure out Greenpoint Juicery name?
there was also like a process to it. So first I was brainstorming myself with my wife, and like I put a couple of friends into the team, and we were just like coming up with all different crazy names, and I had lists of like 50 different names. And after I just methodically started like scratching off something that I don't like, and after going back to internet, see what's already taken, scratching that off too, and after that I ended up with like 5 different names. So we could have been called Pure Energy.
Okay.
Greenzilla.
That's very, very literal.
yeah, and a few other options. And after I just say it, actually Greenpoint wasn't even that list. I was walking home one day and just like Greenpoint.
Really?
Yeah, because I just got into green juicing, and like green juice, green point. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does point have any meaning? Like,
I mean, for me, what it means is Greenpoint. It's a place where you can get green juice. First of all, second of all, we're green as sustainable business, and it's also very important for me. I didn't want to do anything that would harm the planet.
Mhm.
Create a bigger footprint. So that was another point of having green in the name.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
so-
works. The name really works out because point has so many meanings. Like the point of origin. What's your point? Checkpoint. Well, checkpoint is not a good.
Yeah.
That's not a good meaning, but it's just such a versatile name
Mhm.
that it works out so well in marketing, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and I think that's what got your attention.
It
right?
did. I moved to Jersey and I was Googling like organic juice bars, and Greenpoint Juicery was #1. 5 stars, 5-star reviews. Luckily, it was in my county, so I just got really lucky. But then, actually, not that lucky because I honestly believe that Greenpoint Juicery has the highest standards in New Jersey. Like, Eugene really works hard on checking every single box, like kosher, no HPP, non-GMO,
Yeah,
no
another thing is
pesticides.
it's not only checking the boxes; it's like standing behind that too.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Which I didn't really. Going to Greenpoint Juicery the first time, I went to Verona for the first time, and so it's like this small place, but you could really tell the quality of juices by the color. I'm like a very passionate juicer. I'm obsessed with juicing. Like I was selling juicers on YouTube, and I'm just I'm a nerd when it comes to juicing. So when I went to Greenpoint Juicery, the colors were so vibrant, and there's no added sugars, there's no added chemicals, there's no nothing.
Whom did you speak to when the first time you came in? Do you remember?
Let's see, that was a long time ago. That was over a year ago. I think it was Brenda. Yeah. And she was so friendly. Like, Brenda, shout out to Brenda.
She's got fans.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
amazing. I think Brenda was with you since day 1, right?
Not day one, but like the first year after we opened.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's another great find. And
Yeah.
About how long
she's
have you guys
amazing.
been open?
4 years in
Cool.
Verona,
Awesome.
2 years in Morristown.
Congrats.
So real quick, was there a particular point in which was
My
See?
green point.
was there a particular green point in which you decided, okay, I want to juice for the world, or I want to open up my own, like, because that's a pretty big, it's a huge investment. You gotta get a store. You gotta think about it. Like, it's a lot of like digging around. Like was there anything like
And-
in your work, like in your life, that said like I should do this? Like, let me make the jump.
Yeah, and to speak to that, when you did make that jump, how did you make that jump? Did you have a part-time job while you were
Yeah.
tell us that. Like,
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I enjoyed juicing myself, and I was working in restaurants too, and I really like the food and the industry itself. I believe it's really important. But I felt that it's enough Italian restaurants around here, and if I open another Italian restaurant, that wouldn't really make a difference. You know, there are good Italians, bad Italian restaurants, but like I lived in New Jersey, and there was like literally nothing around me. There was no juice bars, so like I'm just like every time I need a juice, I gotta go shop for the produce. I gotta wash the veggies, and my wife's really particular about washing, so it has to be done properly. You juice it, you clean up. Takes a long time. When you're in a hurry, where do I get my juice? And after, when I got a little bit deeper into juicing, I found what's organic, why organic is good for you, what's not. So like, and after that, again, another struggle. No organic juicers, never anywhere. So like, I wanted to fix that problem for the people, for the community first. And yeah, that's how we started. Yeah, and going back to my work, yeah, I was still working when we opened the first store. I was still working, and my wife had still has a full-time job, so she would help me after hours. And yeah, so like I would work in the morning. We would close a little bit early, so then I would go back to a restaurant job in the city. Yeah, so
there you go.
even longer hours.
The
But-
struggle.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time we had better juice, better fuel, so it was a
There you
little.
go.
Yeah.
You're using your own product to keep you going.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That's awesome.
And at the same time, when you start doing something that you're really passionate about, you don't really care about the hours, about the. I was struggling more working in restaurant, even like I was already doing like 70 hours a week. With the juicery, I was doing a lot more hours, but at the same time,
You weren't feeling
Yeah,
it because you were
yeah,
loving
yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
So what? While you were like making this transition, was there anyone like not in your corner? Anyone that like gave you like like, why are you doing this, Eugene? You're crazy. Like, was there any of that stuff? Or?
Not really. I mean, the friends, family, they were just like, why don't you why don't you go get yourself some more education and get a proper job, like do something, because I graduated as a computer engineer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Cool.
like I've never worked in that field, and just like I realized that's not something I want to do in my life ever. Yeah, and yeah, so that was
Ever.
So there was a lot of skepticism from my family first and my friends, but also another struggle was when we opened the first store. The way I did juicing, cold press, organic, green, we had to do a lot of education in the community because people were not ready. For me, like it took me like a couple of years to transition into that, from just drinking, like from knowing the difference between just like apple juice from a can to like green juice that you make on a cold press machine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a totally different animal. So, and with our customers too, like we started serving smoothies as well and our green juice. Some people would come into the stores like, kale? Why do I have kale in the bottle? Like, who needs that?
Do you want to be Superman or not?
Yeah, so that's why we had to explain to people why, how it makes a difference, and like try it, see it for yourself.
So kind of speaking to that, how did you go back in, like, your first customer? Like, would you just open the doors and people started coming in, or like? Yeah.
That was funny. So we were planning on opening September 1st. August 30th. That was our opening day. And our juicer was our cold press machine was supposed to arrive on the 15th. And we're like, all right, everything's good. So we started working with this coupon magazine, and we signed up with them. They did all the flyers and everything was ready, and they launched it 2 weeks before we started. And it was like, wow, they sent in 1,500 copies, and people would start coming, and doors closed, we have nothing to offer. So
Oh, God.
let's move on, let's just like rush it and open it. So when we opened the doors, it was August 15.
August 15, 2000.
15, right?
August 15, 2015?
I don't remember the year.
That's 4.
But
Or
right?
I always mess up counting like things that.
Yeah, I didn't remember.
Like years and hours.
I just
Like,
remember
always
that
mess
day,
up.
August 15, year of 2000 something.
Yeah.
So we open the doors. We have no menus. We have like no idea like what are we doing here. So we wrote down a list of the ingredients that we have. I went to Whole Foods, grabbed a bunch of stuff, and the first customer comes in and like, hey guys, so what are you doing here? We're like, oh yeah, we're making smoothies, juices. Like, what is your menu? We can take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the guy was like, all right, fix it for me. So we did. Yeah, and
wow,
this guy.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Which juicer were you using back then? I don't understand.
The first one was just a smoothie, and there was like some blueberries, some bananas, and coconut water, some greens into it, and a
Wow.
bunch of superfoods.
That's insane.
Yeah, so that was the very first sale.
Very cool.
So if you guys are tuned in on Facebook Live or on Instagram, thank you guys for tuning in. Please comment #live if you're watching us right now, so we know that you're alive.
Please do.
Yeah.
I think actually the IG Live, is it still running, the IG Live?
I believe so.
Because
How do I see it? Oh, wait,
it
I'm on
was
myself.
running, and then I don't think it's running anymore.
Is it?
You got a low power notification that turned it off.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. It's back up.
Charger.
So let's get back into it, right? So you open your doors. You did a coupon book to kick it off. What were your next steps, right? Besides making a menu.
That's the very first step. So making a menu, coming up with a good list of juices, trying different things. Yeah, and I remember we'd have a store open. After the store closed, juice quickly, put it up on the shelf. I remember we'd make 3 bottles of each juice, and it was like, is that too much? Will we be able to sell it? That was another furious struggle.
Yeah, because that's like a probably a pretty serious balance of not producing too much product and then not letting it go to waste, and then you know.
So the difference, why we're different, what's good and bad about it, we make juices fresh, and we juice them fresh daily, and they have only 3-day shelf life. So why it's good for our customers? Because every time they come in, they get a bottle of fresh juice any day they come in. But what's bad about it, we need to really like plan accordingly, because if we make too much, it's waste, a lot of labor, a lot of product, and if you make not enough, you have upset customers who come to the store for a bottle of juice and it's not there. So that's.
Was it hard finding that balance at first?
I mean, it's work in progress still. Like right now, we increase in the volume, so we're like, it's still the same. You cannot say how many customers would walk into your door tomorrow or like 2 days later. So it's still there.
Yeah, and especially when you're providing something so fresh, there's no option. It's either some go bad sometimes, or you don't have enough sometimes.
I mean, usually we do have some leftovers, but we just split it between employees. I drink a lot of juice myself.
I can see Eugene in the back room just like chugging it. Like, ah!
Yeah, like I started my first juice cleanse. I started because it was like I messed up. I thought we'll sell a lot more that weekend, and we did not. And I see juice are going bad. All right, so let me go on a juice cleanse.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. You're like, I might as well just take it for myself.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So, what would you feel in the beginning process, or now, right, in your business, is because kind of the reason that we started this show is to kind of show creative people, business owners, and entrepreneurs, and how they're all the same, in the manner of like, business owners might not think that they're creative, but they're damn creative. And
you have to be.
And creative people don't realize that they're business owners, but if you want to be successful,
if you want to make money,
yeah,
of course,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So where do you think that crossover had happened, either in the beginning or now? Like we'll call it the creative crossover.
I mean, I think it's happening every day, and like sometimes, as you said, people just don't realize that, and sometimes people don't realize how important it is, so they need to like stress and focus on that. For me, I would say, at the beginning, we tried that coupon magazine, and that did not work at all. So we got just few customers. So we're like, all right, we gotta come up with something else. And then we started Facebook, Instagram, because we didn't have that. No one said on that website, when you register for a company, you should register your Facebook and Instagram right away too.
There's so many details that you learn.
Yeah, and you just learn as you go and trying to improve every day and see what's working, what's not.
But I think that's key, trying to improve every day. So
Yeah,
as
yeah.
an artist, you constantly want to improve your artwork and get better and better. And you're not going to create perfection, but the idea is to improve every single day.
Oh yeah. That's really important. I think people who say, "Oh yeah, I know everything," they're not gonna move any further. So like, if you want to create something bigger, something more impactful, you have to learn. You have to
Adapt.
Adapt.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about both sides is that, it has to start with some kind of passion for something. Like either you're an artist and you're a painter and you have a passion for painting, or you're a photographer and you have a passion for photography, or you have a passion for juicing and you want to take that to the next level. That's the only way to really put in so many, because it takes so many hours to start.
It absolutely does. So many hours and then little reward or no reward.
Exactly.
As Eugene was saying, I think it took you a long time to actually see the rewards of your labor.
Yeah.
A very long time.
Yeah. So like first, I mean, you see it right away. So like if you deliver a good product, your first reward is your happy customers.
Mm-hmm.
If you have happy customers, that's your reward already. I mean, and the monetary reward will come later.
Exactly. You got to think of the monetary side as like an afterthought. It's like you're here to serve. Like what you said.
Just deliver value.
Yeah, your goal originally was just to say, well, there's no juicing in the area. Everyone's stuck eating these greasy foods and stuck in the restaurant business. And Italian food's great. I love Italian food, but sometimes we need that nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely. And we serve both people who looking for more nutrition or people who are experienced juicers like Sandy.
Yes.
Yeah, so like we have a lot of customers who love juicing, they just don't have time for that, and they still want to have not just like juice, they want to have a good quality product.
Mm-hmm. That's important. High quality. That's the most important to me is like 5-star companies. I like at my age, and like I know I'm just 30, but I've experienced so much in New York that at this point I would never ever do business with someone unless they were a 5-star company. So thankfully Greenpoint Juicery is a 5-star company, StrixMedia is a 5-star company. So that's my thing. If you're just going to a 5-star company, you just demand this level of expertise, but also responsiveness. There's so many things that a 5-star company has to do to be 5-star and maintain their 5-star standards that I respect. I respect a lot.
Not only getting to that 5-star, because
but maintenance, maintaining it is very difficult. Yeah,
that's true.
So we actually have with us, and the one caught my eye. This little guy here. It looks pretty good.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. So I kind of want to try this.
Show it to the camera.
I'll grab some cups.
This is CBD almond milk.
CBD almond milk. All right.
Yeah, so CBD is a big thing right now.
So explain to me how this idea came to be and why this is as is.
And after, because I always forget my questions, so I just want to get it out there. Talk to me a little bit about creating the flavors.
Ooh.
And how many flavors you got that you're like, all right, we got to throw this out. Like, this is the best flavor ever. Because that I could see like as a fun but painstaking process.
It is, and like not all the time that something you think is good, customers would approve and confirm that, you know. So yeah, so like you think, oh yeah, that's a brilliant idea, and you try it yourself and you love it, and but after it's like, no one else likes it. Where's
So-
the button?
The sound effect.
That's with like any type of art. We interviewed a girl or a lady named Jenna Martin. Photography is her like Instagram handle, and she makes like compositions. And she says, you don't realize that how much of the stuff that you end up loving, and then you show it to people, and 85% of the people hate it, and then you have this 15 people that love it. And that's your audience, and it was like a really like kind of eye-opening like kind of statement.
And you need to also differentiate between like if you get some negative feedback, it doesn't necessarily mean right away that the product is good. You just need to see if it's good for your customers, your specific audience. I remember once I was doing juice samples in Willowbrook Mall. It was just like the funniest experience ever. Like people would come like, what's that? And one guy, it was the only time in my life when I heard that juices are terrible. He was like, he'd drink that, he's like, oh my god, this is so bad. I was like, what do you mean? I thought he was joking. I said, no, it's terrible, it's disgusting. You guys need to rethink your idea and concept and like hire someone to come up with a recipe for you guys. It's like, it's terrible. Thanks, we have like 3,000 customers right now. And
Whatever, that was a crazy person. That's ridiculous.
yeah, but it was fun. So like, not every composition would appeal to everyone, but you need to think about your customers first of all. So like, it doesn't mean like if I don't like that composition and if I'm not her customer, it doesn't mean that it's bad.
Do you remember what your first flavor actually was?
First one. The first one was actually Gene's. It's not here. Kale, apple, parsley, celery, lemon, ginger. It's still there. We couldn't come up with a better name for it.
Was it called Gene's?
Gene's favorite.
Gene's favorite. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's still there. So like first it was juice with no name. So we had 3 green juices at that time. One was pure greens. It just didn't have cucumber. It was a really not a good seller. I liked it myself because it was all greens and no cucumber.
Wait, what was it called?
Pure greens,
Pure
but
greens.
with
Okay.
no
Without-
cucumber.
With no cucumber. Okay.
Yeah, it was really
Because
like
the pure greens has the
heavy.
cayenne though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which was actually really popular in Sunday's festival. Everybody wanted pure greens.
Really?
I guess people love spicy drinks and spicy food in general. Yeah.
I just started getting into like the spicy alcohol, which is interesting. I never thought I would ever like appreciate that. So I'm kind of curious to try this spicy juice thing
Yeah,
too.
pure greens is pretty popular.
Okay.
And it's the most nutrient dense drink that Greenpoint Juicery offers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly greens. But it's pretty
We
popular.
had another one. Third green recipe was called Sweet Romaine.
Has since been canceled.
Yeah, that one's been canceled.
You know, it's funny. I actually had my first experience with juicing green smoothies my mom made for me like 5 years ago, and she would just juice kale, and she got like this big ninja thing and did it for a while, and it was the most annoying process to go through, and I mean, and
So would it be just water and kale, or would it?
I honestly don't remember. I just
Or
remember
just like-
she'd stuffing kale down this big ninja thing, like
Stuffing
stuffing
kale.
it, you know, and then she threw in like some other flavors, like maybe honey or like agave was somehow mixed in to give it some kind of sweet flavor. I don't know, for those listening, like whenever I have like coffee or tea or anything, like I need it like extra sweet, like I have a problem, so I'm trying to cut back.
He loves
Hence-
sugar.
I have a
Hence
huge
his
problem.
addiction to beanies.
Yes.
Yeah.
A long time ago, when we
That's
were
so funny.
when we were editing a video for beanies, like maybe like 2 years ago, we were editing it probably for like a week or two, and every time, and this is when we were working out of my bedroom, and every time we'd edit, we'd be like, I kind of want some ice cream. We probably ordered like $300, $400 worth of Beanie's ice cream like in 2 weeks.
Wow, they must love you.
That was his Kickstarter, right?
Yeah. We've got
that was just for the editing process.
We've got an angel investor. It's StrixMedia.
That not only do our Instagram and Facebook, they also buy it all over the
Mass
place.
quantities.
Yeah, we're quite obsessed. I don't love sugar as much as you do though.
No, yeah, but when I got into it, my mom was like, "All right, you're having too much bad things. You should have juice every morning, whatever." And she tried to get me on the kick, and it wasn't like this juice. It was like thick and like hard to swallow.
It
you know?
was a smoothie. And plus Ninja, it doesn't have a strong motor, so it's not getting blended.
Yeah, it was like a
Properly.
green slop, if anything. It wasn't that good.
Have you seen the videos of the ninjas exploding?
No.
No, but that sounds really interesting.
It's really scary.
Send us a
People
link,
were
please.
losing fingers and stuff.
What?
Oh,
Because there's
wow.
nowhere for the air to come out of
Uh-huh.
the ones that go top down. Once again, don't know anything about this, but I do have one. So like for 3 or 4 weeks, my roommate makes pretty good smoothies at our house. He would take an extension cord and go out of the kitchen and plug it in,
Oh.
like it was like a bomb.
Not-
He's like, I still want a smoothie, but I'm not going in there with it.
Yeah, it's not like we affiliated with any blender manufacturers, right?
That's so funny.
That's
but
funny.
So you guys do it completely different. You guys do it off some cold press thing, right?
Yeah, so we have different products for different clientele. We're not only a juice place. We have a lot of other products. So we do smoothies, we do acai bowls, we do healthy soup, salad, snacks, and what's not. And the difference is like for people who have as much
science.
experience as you do. So the
Yeah.
biggest difference
Zero.
the biggest difference between juicing and smoothies. So for smoothies, you put everything in and blend it, kind of crush everything, and you get everything there. With the
Right.
juice, you separate like the blood of the fruit and vegetables from the flesh.
Gotcha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's very
Interest-
scientific.
Interesting. And now, once you press it, right? Because like you're kind of taking all the nutritious part with it, and then the leftover is kind of
Just
the
fiber.
Yep.
So
Okay.
yeah. So all that's left there is fiber. All that's lacking in juice. So some people say, come and say, oh yeah, I don't juice because I don't get fiber with that. But at the same time, you need to understand that you should not be eating only juices. You know, you should get your fiber in
Right.
different forms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what makes juices stand out, why it's more nutritious, because it gets absorbed straight into your bloodstream.
Similar to alcohol. It gets
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
straight to
Yeah,
your
it,
bloodstream.
yeah, I
it
get
goes,
that, makes
goes
sense.
to your stomach, to your large intestines, and if the juice has no pulp in it, it gets absorbed right away. So your body doesn't need to work on it to break it down. So
Mhm.
it's very
So
efficient.
that's why it works so fast.
Yeah, so it's very
Specifically
efficient
cold
way.
press
yeah,
juicing.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you explain cold press juicing in itself? Like, what is cold? Like, what does the cold mean?
It's pretty much like everyone knows that extra virgin olive oil is better than any other oil, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
like a
So the
fresh
difference
one.
is, yeah, so you just take the produce and you just squeeze it with high pressure instead of heating it up, trying to like get the rest
Extract
of
it
the,
some weird way.
Yeah. So it just literally it just like we chop it up and press it, and the juice comes out, the pulp.
And because you're not using much heat, all the nutrients are retained. It's fresher
so-
juice. It's tastier. It's
Mm.
more
Yeah, so
vibrant in color.
With juices, you get the vitamins, you get minerals, and enzymes. So if the juice gets treated, you would still get minerals. It's really hard to break down the minerals,
Right.
but enzymes and vitamins, they die really fast, especially with oxidation and heat. It just kills all the nutrients.
Yeah, like, that's
Mhm.
why you like shouldn't like overcook your veggies if you're actually trying to get like nutrients out of them.
It depends. Again, like if you do a balanced diet, so you have your vegetables raw, cooked, you have some proteins, and you have some juice.
Mhm.
This way you get everything in the optimal form, because some of the nutrients you need to apply heat. So like I know that tomatoes are better, you get more benefits from tomatoes when you cook them.
No way. All right, cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dropping knowledge.
Look at that. Tomato
Yeah.
sauce is better than raw tomato.
Exactly. It makes it more accessible for your body.
Interesting. Okay.
Same with spinach. You can extract some vitamins and minerals when you juice it, and when you cook it, it delivers some other beneficial minerals that's hard to extract in juice.
Interesting. Now I know you guys also offer like a juice cleanse line. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does that process work? Like, I know it was really intricate, and you were explaining to me in the beginning, and it was really eye-opening for how detailed it is, and like what you're supposed to have at what time. And I know you started originally on this juice. The whole thing, this whole company started when you started replacing juice at night. Now,
Mhm.
was that particular kind of juice you're using at night, or like how did you know what to use more?
I mean, first I was just like experimenting with everything,
Sure.
and I found it, and after I found the proof for it, that you better not having any sugars towards the end of the day, and in the morning too, like because of your hormone system works, and because of the way your body metabolizes everything.
Mm.
So the best juice I would say to drink is just straight up veggies.
Okay. At night or in general?
Well, I mean, the process of a juice cleanse, like in the morning, you'll do alkaline drinks.
If we go back to
Yeah.
juice cleanse protocol,
Mhm.
so you get citrus drink in the morning, you get that to alkaline your body to start your day, start your digestion, and after that you get your green juices, your vitamins during the day. Will provide you with carrot or beet juice as your number 5, so you get more minerals. Each different juice would deliver you different nutrients, so you want to have variety, so you get everything in your body. And you finish your day with nut milks to give you some proteins and again some additional minerals.
Interesting.
So you get
And-
6 bottles per day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and some people, I mean, you could do it 1-day juice cleanse, 2-day juice cleanse. Actually, one of his customers, I think, is a brain surgeon, and I actually met him last month, and he was on a 6-day juice cleanse. And you know, I'm in the juice world, and I'm really deep into the juice world, but I've never done a 6-day juice cleanse. So
I've
I was
done
like,
one.
wow. Yeah, you have, right? What's the longest juice cleanse you've ever
6.
done? 6 days?
Yeah.
You couldn't quite make it to 7, right?
No, it's just like the
It's
timing
hard
wasn't
though.
right.
It's definitely hard.
My grandma was coming on day 7.
So you're like, all right, too much stress for me. I need
Yeah,
food.
yeah. And my family still don't get why I go on juice cleanses, but it just this science doesn't stay still. Like new things comes out,
Sure.
and they found that being hungry here and there, it's actually very beneficial for your body, for longevity. First of all,
Intermittent fasting. is good.
intermittent fasting,
I'm
plus
gonna live forever.
Yeah,
That's our plan.
I only eat I'll eat once a day sometimes.
Our plan is immortality. That's a
Yeah, so
what
like
it's worth.
back in the days, they were saying that you're supposed to eat every hour and a half, and now some people saying that it was actually made up by some snack manufacturing companies. So they say you should have a snack between your meals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
here's
there's a
a
lot
snack.
of stuff like that, like diamonds. Like they don't actually have any real value. It was all marketing back in the day. That you had to get your fiance or whatever a diamond, yada yada yada, and like
Yeah, and
all stuff
it's
like
actually
that.
changing right now, and changing a lot in like many different fields because of the internet. People have access to information. People share information a lot.
Reddit
more.
is killing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that's not real, they're taking it down.
Really, honestly?
Reddit is the place for the realest information.
What do they tend
Just
to?
like in general, like anything that would be that can be proved wrong. Everyone on Reddit is usually like what did they solve? They solved a murder on Reddit.
Wow.
I'm not. Yeah, they've done the crazy and it's 50 people that are all working together, like any type of different types of information.
We should get on Reddit.
We should. I mean, that's actually, it's
That's
just
a good
so
idea.
many, there's so much misinformation on the internet, so it's a good thing to have a place like, Greenpoint Juicery, where you're just going to be fed with constant truth and honesty and science and education. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So for us, if I wanted to make it more profitable, I could have done HPP, which not everyone's familiar with.
Explain to us
Yeah,
what
so
HPP is.
basically if you want your juice to not go bad in 30, 40 days, you can just take this bottle, put it under really high pressure, and that kills all the bacteria, enzymes, and everything that's alive in the bottle. It just kills it.
Is it high pressure packaging? Is that
High pressure pascalizing.
Oh, I was close. Okay.
You were
very,
close.
very
there.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, but that will give you a 30-day shelf life, and you don't have to worry about these all ups and downs of the market. You just made it once a month. It sits there, you run it.
But now it's pointless.
Yeah, you're drinking water,
That's so
dead
great.
water, essentially. It's just, honestly, a lot of companies are doing that, which is sad, but we do want the consumer to know what's going on. When you're buying a juice from the grocery store shelves, or, I don't want to name companies, but there's a lot of companies who are doing HPP, and it's really up to companies like us to get the information out there. No, HPP is wrong, you're not getting what you paid for, and just understanding the differences is really important.
Now, what's scary is that they probably don't put that on the bottle, right? They probably don't say we're HPP'd.
No, they don't have to. It's still.
So you'll never know what.
Yeah, the only way you can find out is just ask how long it lasts, what's the shelf
The
life.
expiration date. Yeah.
Just look at the
That's a good
expiration
idea.
date.
Yeah, if I'm buying a green juice today and the expiration is March 3rd, 2020, that's not a good idea.
Pass on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here you also gotta be careful. Things like kombucha, fermented drinks, they don't need to be processed in order to have a shelf life, because it's they're
naturally.
yeah, like sauerkraut and stuff like that. So it's still fine to have some product, but not juice.
I'm getting thirsty, sorry.
Yeah. I'm
All
actually
this
gonna
juice
try
talk.
it.
Oh yeah, we want to
Yeah.
do some samples
So-
here, right?
So this is the CBD raw almonds, RO filtered water. What does that mean?
Reverse osmosis, but we're changing that to a regular filtration system.
Okay. Then we got
So-
maple syrup, Himalayan salt, and CBD.
While we pour these drinks, tell us where people can find you, social media and your locations, because I don't think we truly highlighted that in the beginning.
Yeah, so I would Instagram and Facebook same GP Juicery, and our stores are right now it's Verona and Morristown, and Maplewood is coming up really, really soon.
Very soon.
Yep, brand new store.
Yeah,
Excited.
I'm really excited.
Awesome.
All right, here we go.
So-
It's my first taste of this.
Of
Yes.
CBD almond milk.
CBD. Now, does CBD actually have a taste or no?
Not really. I mean, if you taste it by itself, it does, but when you mix it, it's really hard to
Okay.
get it.
Yeah,
So-
you would. It's earthy tasting.
Yeah, grassy.
Wow, it's actually really good.
Very green.
See, again, I
Oh,
got.
you're sick.
Well, here. That's why we poured a glass.
It's extremely popular, not just because of the CBD trend, yeah, that's a huge trend now, but also the taste. When I first tasted CBD almond milk, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Everybody has to drink this.
Yeah, so it's another thing people say,
Wow.
oh yeah, I don't like almond milk.
Yeah.
Because they haven't tried real almond milk.
This is creamy.
Real
Yeah.
organic almonds.
This
Yeah.
is good.
This almost tastes like a dessert, in a good
It
way.
does.
Yeah,
It does,
it has a weird
The maple syrup and the.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
now I didn't think this was going to be sweet enough for me because again, I love
Yes.
sweets, but this is
And
good.
this is actually a real organic maple syrup, so it's not one of those pancake syrups or corn syrups,
Ugh.
anything like that. So real maple syrup is also beneficial for you, in small doses.
Yeah. This is great. Wow.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we're big on is natural sweeteners. So we don't do refined sugars, we don't do processed sugars. We're big on raw agave and raw honey
Dates.
and dates. I love dates.
What's a date? I've heard that term before, but my brain's not kicking. What's a date?
We'll bring you a sample.
Dates.
It's spelled not like a date, right?
No,
Oh, yeah,
just
it is.
DATE, yeah.
Kind of looks like a raisin.
It's delicious.
it's just
so
bigger
good.
than raisin. It's a dried fruit
Oh, okay. So
from
similar.
Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like we grew up eating dates, so that's why I'm actually kind of surprised that you've never, heard of dates, because every single morning we would eat dates, and then we would break our fasting with eating a date. It's a very Middle Eastern thing to do.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not only tastes good and sweet, it's also has a lot of potassium, which is essential electrolyte. So you can get that from bananas, from coconut water, from Gatorade.
Pure sugar. You can be Michael Jordan.
If you want to get it in natural form, dates are a great source of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they taste really good too.
So I was really surprised at how good this was.
Thank you, Zach.
He said,
No,
Thank
"I gotta
you."
go home." Right?
I'm gonna have to order.
It's like ice cream, right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
It's
tastes
very
really good.
and it's smooth. Like it's very
Yeah.
smooth.
So
Like-
what
like-
makes a difference, like when you go in the supermarket,
Yeah.
like after that, if you run to like a supermarket that's next to you and
Yeah, yeah.
get a bottle of almond milk and it's like, and it wouldn't be the same.
No, it's
don't,
not.
Don't,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
be surprised.
Yeah.
It's that it's silk or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah,
Is
like
that one?
many different brands.
Yeah,
I won't name them. So basically, the difference is we take actual almonds, raw almonds, and just milk them.
You milk an almond.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
You milk
Yes.
your own almonds.
Yeah.
We locate the nipples of the almond. It's a very scientific process.
Very long and labor-intensive
Yes,
process.
very.
So basically, you just blend it well and press it. You just
Interesting.
strain it, but and we use a lot of almonds to it.
I
So
was gonna
basically,
say,
the
yeah.
ratio is 1 cup of almonds to 4 cups of water. When you get something from a supermarket, it's 1 cup of almonds to a gallon of water.
Wow.
And to make it up for it,
So it's like cloudy water at that
I
point.
think
And
they add
almonds are
sugar.
s-
They add sugar.
it would be cloudy water, but to make it more appealing, more like tasty, they add gums, they add colors, they add sweeteners,
I have
Yeah.
noticed
and
that.
Just very
almond,
unnatural
almond
sweeteners.
flavor, and a little bit of almonds too. So like
yeah.
it creates a really cheap product that you make a lot of money on,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's not something I would drink myself or offer my customers. So.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard? I think it's almonds that it takes like 4 gallons of water to grow an almond or something crazy like that. It's like some like disproportionate thing.
I mean,
I think I watched like a whole documentary on almonds.
Yeah,
On
I'm-
an almond.
Yeah.
4 gallons wouldn't be as bad as having like if we're talking about sustainability here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you look into dairy industry, I'm not against it completely. I think it needs to be done like in moderation in a little different ways,
Sure.
more humanly raised and everything. So it takes a lot more water to produce a gallon of milk, and it takes also hundreds of gallons of water to produce meat, beef.
Specifically
Right.
cows, yeah.
Right, right.
Cows
Yes.
are big, yeah.
So, and that was really painful for me because I know that process, how to raise animals. My grandma always had a farm, so like I see all of that. So, like back home, we're really conscious about it, and we have more respect to animals. And I was like, when I worked in restaurants, I was like, oh my god, people would order this steak, this like 24-ounce steak, eat a little piece of it, probably like 4 ounces, and the rest just goes in the garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horrible waste.
It's insane.
It's insane. You just like, you're killing 10 times more animals than you should have just because you didn't like the taste and like.
Yeah.
That's really.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, and another thing about this whole sustainability thing is like when you go to local farms and companies that practice sustainability, they care more about the environment. So like with us, I think the bottles are recyclable and compostable, and we're working towards becoming 100% sustainable.
I mean,
Or-
we already certified sustainable with each town that we work in and with New Jersey State. So all our cups, salad bowls, they all biodegradable. Our straws are biodegradable. They're made from corn-based plastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's really important.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we also we switched to 100% renewable energy this year. So
Congratulations.
That's
Huge.
awesome.
yeah, yeah. all our juices are fueled with 100% renewable energy.
Cool.
But it's important. I mean, if more companies worked hard to kind of like be conscious about the environment.
I mean, if every company was conscious about it, we wouldn't have these climate issues. We wouldn't even have to discuss it, you know.
Yeah.
It just people try to cut corners here and there, and like we ended up. Same thing with the produce itself. You know, it's a lot easier to grow produce conventionally when you can just like. You buy GMO seeds, they grow, you spray everything with herbicides, all the weeds died, all the plants stays, you know, and after that, it's a lot easier to harvest.
It's
and
easier
everything.
and faster, but it's horrible. It's wreaking havoc on the environment. So
Environment's one thing, and it's like going green, organic. It's beneficial for yourself because you like when you eat vegetables, you think you're doing a good thing for yourself. When you eat conventional vegetables,
Yeah.
it's actually not because everything, all the greens being sprayed like really heavily with pesticides and herbicides. That makes it a lot cheaper to grow. But at the same time, when you take that leafy green, when you take that piece of leaf of spinach, you eat all the pesticides that go into it. So, and that's
because it's like not only on top, like you can wash it, that's fine, but like it's
Yeah, you
it's
can
the fact
wash
that
it.
like
So-
that it's like literally inside of the leaf.
It's inside of the leaf. That's why there is this dirty dozen. You should always check into it. It's like a chart of dirtiest fruits and vegetables, and basically, spinach and kale is always in on the top.
Really?
Because things like carrots, they get like the carrot grows in
the
soil,
ground.
right?
Yeah.
And the green, we're not consuming the green. So when it gets sprayed, you get only the root. You cut it, you peel it, and you get only like small percentage of it.
Okay. So
But
it's
when
cleaner than most.
It's
Okay.
cleaner. Same with like avocado, something that has a thick skin. Pretty much like it stays in the skin primarily.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard that avocados were a lot safer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm gonna eat spinach, I pretty much have to, or
You
should
have to
go organic.
You like if you don't want to harm yourself. I just wouldn't eat conventional spinach. Just better not to. Better eat pasta, made in Italy.
And what's crazy is that you would think that instead of just spraying everything, like that's got to cost money too. Like why wouldn't, instead of spraying everything, make everything organic? Don't spend all the money on the extras, right? Like
No, it's the cost is not the same. So basically, when you spray, you kill all the weeds. That's the main
point, yeah.
main point. If you don't spray, you have to do it by hand. You know, you have to go
Which
and
is hiring more people. It takes longer. It's
That-
not good
that-
for business, essentially.
yeah, that's why organic produce is more expensive because there is more labor goes
It
into
takes
it,
more.
and you lose more crops because of the different bacteria, mold, bugs, and everything. So it's a lot harder to grow organically.
But it's better.
But it's safer.
It's better.
It's higher quality. It's safer.
so we have 7 people watching us on Facebook Live. What's going on, guys?
What up,
Hi.
Facebook Live?
If you're still watching us, give us a hashtag live in the comments so we know you're live and watching us. If you have any questions for Eugene or Sandy, feel free to leave them in the comments.
Yeah, you guys are talking to some juice experts here, so if you guys have any questions at all, shoot them out. We'll see if we can answer them for you.
So talk to us a little bit about. Let's start with your struggles or something that got in your way when you were starting your business that really sticks in your mind and you had to overcome. Is there any particular moment either when you were starting the business or during your business that was really a big hiccup?
Yeah, I remember I got into arguments with my contractors, and in the middle of construction, they decided to walk away.
Whoa.
And
Mid project?
yeah, and that was one of the first struggles, So I had to like talk them back to like coming back,
Talk them off the ledge.
Yeah. Because when you do construction on the commercial project, you fill up all the application. It takes time to process. In some towns, it would take you up to several months to process your application, and you have a contractor assigned to that application. And if you change contractor, it's fine. You just need to reapply again and wait again for this month and month and month.
A lot of wasted time.
And time is money. And all this time you're paying the rent, and you're not being open. So
You're not doing
You're
any
just
sales. You're
constantly
not
losing.
bringing money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So that was kind of like scary in a way, but we worked it out. And after that, once we opened the doors, finding the right product, hiring right people is a key too. It's like big key. So like at some point I realized that like I'm working already that many hours and I still cannot keep up. Like I guess now it's time to hire someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my very first hire. Brenda I think Brenda was second or third.
She's a
person.
very unique person, Brenda, and it goes back to like when you have a business and you're managing staff and hiring new people. I mean, you guys probably have the same problem. Like, how do you hire high quality people, and how can you trust them, and how can you
Trusting
rely?
people is another thing.
Trusting people is very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get used to it, you can. It's getting easy.
Be here,
Mhm.
and to this day we joke about it. Like, hey, Dr. Block, the office is still here.
Yeah, but that's very crucial to learn. Some business owners never do, and that's why you see, like, if you go in a restaurant and it's open only 5 days a week, so that means the owner cannot trust their people.
Yeah. It's funny. I go to this nail salon in Fair Lawn, Jersey, and I'm not going to name it, but it is interesting that we're talking about this because the owner of the nail salon, she's phenomenal. She does amazing nails. She runs the whole business. It's her business, but she refuses to hire staff. So could you imagine going into a nail salon with one nail
She's
lady?
the only person.
And she's the owner.
Wow.
So every time I go there to make a nail appointment, I have to like wait 3 weeks to get a nail appointment because she's the only one. And I'm like, Kayla, listen, you really have to hire people. I can help you hire people. She's like, no, they don't know. They don't know that I know. And I'm like, all right, well, one day you're gonna have to trust someone. So, and she's been there for like a year, and she hasn't hired anybody. So it's just her in the nail salon. Could you imagine? Like,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's hard hiring people. A lot of small businesses have
Yeah, that's a big struggle.
yeah, it's one of the biggest struggles because you end up hiring people, and for a lot of smaller businesses it's the call it 18 to 29-year-old people, and those people tend to have higher turnover rate.
Yeah, it's true. That's a very big struggle, is the turnover, and then how do you trust this person will last long. But I think that what I found in managing a successful staff is constantly motivating them. So on one hand, we're motivating them, but it's also a balance between being stern and giving tough love. Stern, tough love. So we're very, very strict with our staff, but on the opposite end, we're very generous. So we do like Christmas parties and bonuses, and we really care about their lives and their future.
Yeah, and I think that feeling appreciated is one of the biggest things. I remember having jobs in the past, and you just left and you're like, nobody even said good job. Like, I just sold $1 billion worth of Apple products, and like nobody was like, good job, even if they didn't mean it. Like,
I'm a big believer in tough love.
Yeah,
You have to be strict, but also very generous.
I think that goes a long way, and it shows that you appreciate what they did.
I mean, it's with any relationships, with your significant other, it's the same thing. So like, you really have to like show this appreciation. If you don't show, it just like fades away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about the struggle. Talk to us about your triumphs, right? What was your this is it, right? Like, opening the store, that's one thing, right? You're like, okay, like, who knows if this is gonna work? What was it a customer interaction that was something that really stuck with you, and you're like, I made the right move by, quitting my job and starting this? What was your like aha moment once it was open?
I mean, I don't think there was one that big aha moment. It's just several of them. I believe it started when I started getting like real feedback from people saying, "You guys transformed my life." Like
That's
that's really helping me. Like I feel so much better right now. I'm losing weight, or like I'm getting healthier.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that customer who came and he just like gave me this whole spiel, but how awesome he feels now. And there was another guy who was coming for a while, and we're talking to him. Now he's a really big shot in California. He does his own detox podcast. Yeah. And,
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and he
Look
was
at
like,
that. You just changed his life, like literally.
yeah, and that's what.
Wait, he has a detox podcast?
Yeah.
Shout
That's-
out. What's
yeah.
his detox podcast?
Called Detox Dudes.
detox dudes.
Yeah, Josh, if you're listening to us.
That sounds
Okay.
very
I
California.
just remember when he came, he was like, yeah, I started this. I have like a couple of clients. So like, what should I do? I don't feel like living here. I don't think I belong here. It's like, all right, pack your stuff and move to California. Like, really?
And then he packed his stuff and moved to California. That's very
Wow.
influential, Eugene.
And after
Yeah.
that, he called me like several months later. He's like, thanks, you pushed me.
Aw, that's so
Look
sweet.
at that.
I
Yeah.
think that's true. That is a big aha moment.
Yeah,
when
and
you
like
affect so many
the,
lives.
the rest is like all these like awards and things. It kind of like secondary to that. Like sometimes you would get a handwritten letter, you know, from someone from somewhere. You know, I've been your customer, and like that helps me a lot in my life. You know, like, and like when you get healthier, you can think clearly. You know, when you don't realize that you lack in nutrients until you start getting them. You know, you feel much better, you have more energy, you can do more things, you know, with your life,
Yeah.
at work,
Mhm.
at your like personal life, and you're just like, wow, that transformed my personal relationships, you know, or my I don't know, my sexual life improved, or I achieve a lot more in business, in my career. And just like if you lack in nutrients, you kind of like sluggish, waiting for this day to pass, you know, changes your life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like nutrition plays so much into it, and you have no clue. Like you said, until you do it, you're not
Yeah.
gonna have any clue.
I mean, there's so many things out there. Like, even when I was younger, I was struggling with like acne on my face and I didn't understand it. And me being very persistent and like nerdy and passionate, I would research online, and I found out that people have acne because of hormonal imbalances, because of their liver, it needs a detox and stuff like that. So that's how I got into juicing. But like with your customers, like because I work in the in Eugene's place. Well, I don't know. I used to work there.
You know, place now.
Now I have the Maplewood one, but I would speak to a lot of people, and they would, like it cures their acne, and it really helps them with so many ailments, and it's such a beautiful thing to see these people really like their lives are
Transforming,
changing right
yeah.
in front of you.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. It's very, very big.
Now, did you guys have any insight on leaky gut syndrome at all, or like anything about that? Because I've been doing like research on this whole idea, and like apparently it's like one of those things that like causes a lot of autoimmune diseases, and apparently like if you change your diet, this fixes the leaky guts or whatever that syndrome is, and it almost like reverses whatever they were diagnosed with, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. New researchers, like things that you would never think of. Like 10 years ago, you tell me that like your immune problem is your gut problem. I was like, what's wrong with you? You just need more vitamin C.
Yeah.
Or take aspirin.
Yeah, but now people are realizing that the intestines and the colon is like
yeah,
huge.
not only people realizing, it's a lot of science goes into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all improved.
But going back to the colon, because we're talking about the colon, right?
Sure.
That's my favorite topic. Have you ever heard of coffee enemas?
Yeah.
You've heard about them, yeah.
I haven't tried
What?
it myself yet.
Is it a real thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
coffee enemas, chlorophyll enemas. I've done them, and they're really, really good. They're really good
Huh.
for your colon.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's actually a lot less scarier than you would think. Like, there's a place in New York, and you go in.
There is a place in Montclair.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
And they do coffee enemas?
They do everything.
Nice. I'm gonna
Yeah.
check it out. Yeah, no, it's really good. It cleanses you.
It's called Lotus Lounge.
Should we
Oh,
hit
I've heard of
the
Lotus.
sound effect?
That's a real live
Sorry,
enema.
it's called Lotus Sky.
Lotus Kai?
Lotus Sky.
Oh, okay. Shout out to them, and I'm gonna like make an appointment with them. But I usually go to the place in Manhattan, and I've done coffee enemas, chlorophyll enemas.
You know, with the animals, I would just be a little bit careful because, like,
It's good for cleansing.
It's,
Like if you do it once in a while, it cleanses all. And they
once in a
actually-
while. Yeah,
Once in
so
a while, yeah. I would never do it.
everything in
once a week.
moderation. Same
Yes.
with juice cleanses. Don't go for a juice cleanse for
Absolutely.
entire life every day. You know, it's not about it. So basically, as I see animals, is like you clean everything up,
Yes.
and after you need to repopulate with good bacteria.
Replenish, yeah.
Replenish.
absolutely,
So probiotics, kefirs, sauerkraut, kombucha,
yeah.
green juices, leafy green, dark green vegetables. Yeah, those are really good for that.
Absolutely, yeah. But I saw this study that they did in Japan comparing a healthy colon to a cancer colon. And it was so fascinating because the cancer colon was like a sewer, like disgusting green, brown sewer, if you could imagine, in a colon. And then the healthy colon was like pink and fresh and like clear. I'm sorry, I'm talking about colons. But it's really important. And it was a Japanese study. I love studying Japanese culture.
People just like don't like to talk about it. It's not that comfortable, but it's one of the most important things in your health. It's not your skin. Like when you put makeup on it, it doesn't make you healthier. It's a colon where your immunity starts. That's your first, like when you eat food, you're not actually, your body is not getting it until it gets to your colon. That's where all the magic happens. And when you have leaky gut, some things that not supposed to get to your bloodstream actually get into it, like unprocessed proteins from dairy, from wheat, so gluten, so meat protein. So like a lot of allergies could be fixed when you fix your gut.
Wow.
Awesome.
And like no one's talking about that, which is kind of crazy. Like there's like studies on it, and like the healthy people talk about it, but then I feel like the other people are like trying to like ex-nay it, saying like it's not a real thing. and all
Yeah,
this other
exactly.
stuff.
I mean, it's still happening. You know, big corporations, they still want to push the agenda. They're saying that their fried chicken, it's okay, it's protein, you know. And when like further, you know, like this girl was saying, oh yeah, I eat vegetables. I have my Big Mac has lettuce, has tomatoes. You know? So when they think they eating vegetables, they're doing something good for themselves.
Yeah.
There is still a lot of misconceptions, and like a lot of education needs to be done, and that's another reason why I feel I need to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing my research, and after bringing back to customers, spreading this knowledge.
Awesome. Well, we've gone for an hour and 11 minutes.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's
Went
been so
fast,
fun.
right?
Yeah.
Did go fast.
So let's wrap it up. Once again, tell everyone where they can find you, your locations, social, website, and what's it?
Yeah, so the website is greenpointjuicery.com. Our social networks are GP Juicery. Our locations currently Morristown, it's 28 Speedwell, right across the street from Headquarter Plaza. Greenpoint Juicery in Verona can be found right across from Verona Park on Bluefield Ave. That's the main drag right there. Goes from, I think, from Newark all the way to Colville's. So right on that main street. And Maplewood.
Maplewood,
Hold on.
97 Baker Street.
Hold on, let's see if I get this one. No, hold on, this one.
Woo! I'm so excited. Yeah, 97 Baker Street in Maplewood, New Jersey. It's right across the street from Arturo's restaurant. And it's coming soon, hopefully in 2 weeks.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That will be the most beautiful Greenpoint existed so far.
Yeah, so far. You're
All
still
right.
replicating Greenpoint Juicers
Yeah,
all across New Jersey.
Yeah, and also it's our first project with Sandy.
Yes.
I'm
So.
excited about this partnership too.
Thank
Cool.
you for trusting me, Eugene. Thank you for trusting me.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Creative Collective Show. If you've made it this far, follow StrixMedia on Facebook and Instagram at StrixMediaNJ. If you're listening on Spotify, you can't leave us a review, but on Apple you can. Let us know how much you like this. Let us know how much you hate it. We want to hear your feedback so we can make the episodes better. Maybe leave us a suggestion on some of the content that you might want to see in the future. If you're on Facebook Live watching us right now, leave us a comment. Let us know how we did. Hit the share button. Somebody do something. Somebody do
Drink
something.
juice, go
yeah,
green.
Yeah, drink juice, go green. If you have any questions about juice, eating healthy, anything at all, Eugene and Sandy are your people. Give them a call. Stop by the store.
I'm actually gonna start juicing at like I'm gonna start at night. I'm gonna take it slow.
Well, you have
Absolutely.
no time in the morning right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Before you do that, the most important thing is to get juice on empty stomach. So I would say wait at least 3 hours before drinking
Okay.
juice. That's like I
Okay.
think one of the most important insights, because people think, oh yeah, I'll have my meal and I'll have my juice, I'll be healthy. So this way, juice does not get absorbed as fast because it gets mixed with the food. It
Right,
sits
right.
in your stomach before it gets into large intestines. So you want to wait a little bit, like 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Have your juice, enjoy it, get all the benefits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm down.
We've converted you.
You did.
Absolutely.
And that was amazing. And I can't wait to try the other flavors too. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.